Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you out there in my global neighborhood. It is my honor to be with you this morning, and I have my good friend, Carolyn Grant with me this morning, all the way from Florida. Yay! And I am just so excited to be able to come every Friday morning at 8 a.m. to help you start your weekend. I am just so excited about last week's show with G from India, and I just want to thank all of you who participated in that podcast, in that broadcast. This week we have brought back my dear and beautiful friend Carolyn Grant because I have been reading her book. And I just think that everybody needs to get this book, and we're going to get into some dialogue around the book. And, you know, it's so great to be in my virtual living room with my friends from across the United States and the world. But before we get started, Miss Carolyn, I'm going to talk to my friends for a few minutes. So you just sit there and look lovely as you are, and then we'll introduce you and we'll begin our conversation. I want to bring up, everyone, that we are dealing with another round 2 of shelter in place. And round 2 of shelter in place is occurring because we are not wearing our masks when we are breaking our social bubbles. And so this is my virtual little tiny mask. I told you my friend Auntie KK made this for me for my show and tell, so I wouldn't have to have a big mask every week. Wear your mask, loved ones. Put it on. And the reality is you may, oh, I got it upside down. Put it on right. That's the key. So this one was made just like the one that I showed you. It has the little wire here so you can push it down on your nose. But please, please, wear your mask. We are going to be in this pandemic forever if we don't start following some basic rules. And wearing the mask is one, 6 to 10 feet distancing is another, washing our hands with hot soap and water, using hand sanitizer when we cannot. All of these are the keys to ensuring that you're going to get through this pandemic without getting sick. If you are watching for the first time, welcome to Life is a Sacred Journey. I am your host, Micheal Pope. Please hit the share button. Go to our YouTube site and like us and subscribe. Share it. Have your own party with us. And first of all, I am so excited, and I want to begin by introducing my dear friend, Carolyn Grant. Carolyn Grant and I met many years ago. It seems like, I think it's over almost a decade ago, if not more. And we met at the Capitol, where she was being an advocate, as well was I. I was testifying to the Senate committee on the budget. And she walked up to me as I was running out to go to the ladies' room and said, I want to talk to you, and we have so much in common. I said, follow me. Let's have a meeting in the ladies' room. And from that moment forward, we have had an incredible relationship, friendship. I cannot tell you, one morning I was getting on a plane in Oakland to go to Nashville, and I look across this incredible, you know, the beautiful Oakland airport, which I love, and I see her face. And I'm like, okay, this is impossible. She's in Florida. And we had breakfast together, and we planned another something together. So I want to tell you a little bit about my sister, Carolyn Grant. She's been a caregiver. She has also worked extremely hard as motivating individuals within the caregiving realm and in the caregiving world. She began by writing a book that I thought was incredible in really reviewing all the different things that caregivers should think about, finances and just getting all your stuff in order. And so her journey began because of her relationship with her dad, who was a pastor and an incredible spiritual leader in the community. And so her journey took her full circle, where she began to look at herself and say, you know, how do I caregive for myself as I live this sacred journey? As you know, this is Life is a Sacred Journey. We call it Life is a Sacred Journey because we believe that every aspect of our life is sacred, and there's things that we can do to live in that sacredness of our lives. And so this book, Transforming Your Life Through Self-Care, even though I had read pieces of it online, I wanted my own copy, and I have now begun my transformational diary based on the things that I have found in this book. Both Carolyn and I have something else in common. We're both type O blood. We have type O blood. And so she talks about that. So I am so happy to bring to the microphone and bring to all of you this morning again. She was with us at the beginning of the pandemic, and now she has joined us again, because how do we become our own caregiver? Welcome, welcome, Carolyn. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on Life is a Sacred Journey. It's always so great to see your face. It's always so great to be with you.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Michelle. I appreciate that.
So begin by telling our listening audience, you know, you've been through, as every person, and particularly women, I think we go through so many things when it comes to body change, body image, and all of this. But you said to yourself, I'm going to take care of myself. Something is happening here, and I want to stop and figure out what's going on and begin to take care, of myself better. So can you talk about that moment and then take us into why the book and what you learned? And, you know, look at you. You're magnificently beautiful. I know that you've won awards as a bodybuilder. You're being nominated, coming up for another award as a bodybuilder. Talk to us about that. Take the mic and tell us your story.
You know, Michelle, thank you. The key thing was this: after being the sole caregiver for my father for 12 solid years, I never thought about self-care because I was so focused on taking care of my dad, working in pharmaceuticals so I wouldn't lose my job, because my father's private assistant living rent was $6,500 a year. And we're talking about in 2003, 4, 5, 6, it was a lot of money. Dad didn't have any insurance. I was his insurance policy. As a result, I broke my 5th metatarsal, my foot, and I continued to work. Although my orthopedic surgeon said, you need 3 months off. And I said, oh no, if I take 3 months off, although I knew about the Family Medical Leave Act, but when you work for Big Pharma, they only judge you by your last cell's performance. So because I had daddy to take care of, I had myself, I just totally forgot about my body, and I worked till I had back injury, permanent back injury that I deal with to this day. So when my orthopedic surgeon, years later, my surgeon said, if you continue down this road, you're going to be in a wheelchair. If you put on 20 pounds because your spine is not going to take it, or if you keep on this attitude that you're Superwoman, you will be in a wheelchair and someone's going to be taking care of you. That was a wake-up call for me. When the doctor is shaking me like that, saying, look, you've got to take care of you. So what I did, I started studying kinesiology, which is the study of bones. I started trying to understand what my doctor was talking about. So I wanted to study my own body. And then I took it a step further. I started really seeing myself at a healthier level. So I started dealing with the natural holistic bodybuilders. I said, what did they do? How do Olympic gold medalists, how do they win a medal when they've broken bones in their body? Because they have fierce determination and bottomless discipline. And I said, I want that too. I want that bottomless discipline. And I was ready, Michelle. I said, if it takes me for the rest of my life, and it is, because it's a process that doesn't have an end date. Just like this morning, I knew I was going to be on show today. I got up super early, went to the gym, started working on my biceps, triceps. I said, I still got to get my workout in, because one thing for me, and this is actually good for me, If I don't work out, that's when I feel the bone on bone in my spine. So what I do, building my muscle, it helps me to get around and put on my heels. And I don't wear high heels that often. I mean, who does nowadays?
I know that's right.
But the bottom line is God has given us this beautiful temple. Oh my God, it's beautiful. We are all created differently, but we all have equal opportunity. Even if there's someone in a wheelchair, even if there's a person that can't move anything on their body but a finger, move that finger, use your brain. So I've decided, I said, I've got to take care of this body, and I don't have a problem telling people I'm 63. And I feel 63? I don't know what 63 is supposed to feel like, but I'm just saying, dear God, thank you for this day. And I will never be ashamed of my age. Matter of fact, what I did, Micheal, on my journey, I've joined several bodybuilding competitions, and I didn't win the first couple. But for my 60th birthday, so when I turned 60, I want to win, in my category. So what I did, it forced me, because I had a goal, to stay laser focused with bottomless discipline. And what it did for me along the way, it taught me, number one, how to truly depend on God, not just say his name, but depend on him. Also, it taught me, really to do research and read, what does my body need? I turned myself into a vegan because someone told me to be a vegan one time. And I ended up in my cardiologist's office because my heart started expounding and getting larger because it had to pump more, because I was feeding my body something that it didn't, or depriving it with things. So when I did that, and the cardiologist in San Francisco told me, next time you go on a diet, you can't just go on a diet, you need to check with me. So when I decided to eat for my blood type, I said, now how could this hurt me if there's a Dr. Diamo? I love Peter Diamo. I love his thought, although it's not really supported by the medical community, but doctors are here to prescribe drugs. So therefore, they're doing what they went to school to do. And I wanted to find, what can I do to eat for my blood type so I could feel better? How do you build muscle when you're in your 60s unless you put the right proteins and the right nutrients in your body in order to build? So I'm here to share with people, you don't have to look at age as a negative. I embrace every age. I know that I have some friends, they're called super agers. They're over the age of 80. And they were named or labeled that by Harvard University. It's the longest study on the planet. The study's been out for like 85 years. They've been following seniors. And what it simply means is that their front lobe of their brain, it doesn't deteriorate like someone in their age groups. They may have a mind of someone 30 years younger than them. And when I say that these super agers, it's hard for me to catch up with them, because I'm dealing with people that truly think they're in their 30s and 40s, and they're 90 and 85. And I get impressed with that. I got to tell you, I'm impressed. And I'm in Florida. There's a whole lot of super agers here. I see them, walking, around the community. And the bottom line, we do have a pandemic. I get that. But Micheal, this is what I want to show you. A person could get some weights, some at-home weights. They could do some lifts. They could do some stretches. This is the best friend anyone could ever have, is a rubber band, and just pull, just stretch and move those muscles.
Yes.
So there's no excuse. The only thing a person needs is the desire to change. And if they have the desire, it's one baby step at a time. And then I tell people, start off with 5 minutes to reach an hour, because I work out an hour. I do cardio for an hour. That's just me. Because I'm on the cardio machine, and I'm multitasking. I'm doing my post. I'm doing like 50 million things. And then when I do my weightlifting, I listen to anything spiritually that's going to feed my mind. And Micheal, I have to say one last thing. this is so important. I went on, I thought it was going to be a 30-day sabbatical from the news, from all the negative stinking thinking stuff, because I had one of my publishing companies to contact me at the last minute and say, Carolyn, we need for you to revise this book. What do I say? No, I had to be laser focused. So what I did, I don't have a TV, as we both know. You did it way before I did. But I have to tell you, when you share it with me many years ago, why you turned your television off and got rid of the television, I said, I'm going to be like Micheal. I'm going to try that too. And I started that. I got rid of all my televisions maybe 6 years ago. But the last 30 days, I literally didn't turn anything on. I didn't even look at my phone, nothing.
Wow, good for you.
Because God had me to do a special assignment, and Harlequin and Handover Press, they got all of their information. I was like 2 weeks early with it because I needed that to think. And that's what some people really just turn off all of the negative stuff and pour some good music in your ears, some good talking to. When I talk to you, Micheal, or I see you, protecting all the seniors, do you know, Micheal, I got to let people know, you said it really nice. You said, oh, she came up to me after I was speaking. No, I tracked you down. I ran up to you. And I went into that. It's like, no, you got to talk to me. And Micheal, I love you so much because you could have looked at me as crazy, but you just said, this girl has passion. I want to hear what she has to say. And thank you so much, Micheal. I love you. Thank you. But that's...
Well, Carolyn, you know, the thing is, in this world, it's what you're talking about. It's those positive moments that we have with people, stranger or known. You know, like I want to say good morning to all my sisters, Sandy Blazer and Ella and Betty and Susie and all of these women, Sister T, they are supporting me in this work, because it's not like, you know, and what I love, Carolyn, that you said to me once too, and I want to raise this up because transforming your life through self-care talks about that inner program that you establish for yourself to say, you know what? Yes, I could become, because I know many people have come to you and wanted to blow you up and make you a big figure. But what you said is, no, I'm going to do it my way because I want to help people. And so your books were in libraries where people could get them without having to purchase them. I was more than happy to purchase my copy, and I hope that all of you will go out and get a copy on Amazon. But at the end of the day, that wasn't your ultimate goal. Your ultimate goal was to share your story so that other people might learn. You know, I have you know, when I read this book and when I saw you at the airport, I was just coming out of a sciatic incredible problem and found out later on you and I are experiencing the same thing. I have some degenerative bone stuff happening in my lower back, you know, and I've decided after reading your book and talking to you at the airport, the cane had to go. Many people know I was walking with a cane for almost 3.5 months. Well, I like that cane because, of course, I bought a very chic cane. But at the end of the day, I felt like, no, come on, Micheal, you used to be a runner. You can't go out like this. And it was exactly what you're saying, that extra 15 pounds that nobody else sees, that everybody doesn't even know that I gained. But the effect that it has on my well-being is incredible, Carolyn. So, I mean, it's not even about dieting and all of that. It's about how do I help my body to remain in alignment. And the other thing I want you to speak to is, you said it many, many times throughout your dialogue and conversation with me this morning already, that spiritual connection.
Yes.
You know, that helps us to stay centered and focused in our lives. A lot of people, you know, don't come to Life is a Sacred Journey because they don't want to hear about the spiritual connection. And I still say to those people, God bless you. But at the end of the day, That's all that helps me to thrive. So talk about that and how you've integrated that beautifully, I might add. And I'm going to plug this book, you guys. I'm so sorry, but go on Amazon and get this book because it will help you. You won't have to do everything in the book because you are not Carolyn, or you're not me, or you're not whatever. But there'll be some wisdom and some pearls in it that will fit you. And, you know, my mother used to say, eat the meat and throw away the bones. So you, whatever in here fits you, it will resonate for you. So Carolyn, talk about that spiritual space to help.
You know, have you ever heard of the term a poster child? Have you heard that?
Yes.
Well, I came up with something new. I'm a poster orphan senior. No kids, no husband, no parents, just me. And when I came to that conclusion, I said, but I have God. God will take care of me. So that's when I started knowing that I have to depend on him. Even when I write, I do not write anything until I pray before I write about it. And then I just go into this other, my spiritual world with God. And as Jesus Christ as my Savior, that's what I do. And my work, when I say that I have nothing to do with where it's landed, for it to be in libraries around the world, I'm talking about major Harvard, Johns Hopkins, United States Congress. I'm going, who put that there? I didn't do it. God, I had nothing to do with it. But my spiritual relationship, that's why I use the word senior orphan. There's a lot of senior orphans out there. And senior orphans, if you are on this and you're called and you're hearing us, take care of you. Who's going to do it? I share with folks, go to a nursing, well, they can't go to a nursing home. Once it's over, go to a nursing home to read about what goes on behind the closed doors. Because I took care of my dad, and although I was paying $6,500 a month for him to have private assisted living, I was fighting with those folks all the time. So the money has nothing to do with it. It's all about, some people don't need to be in senior care. So I don't want to scare anyone, but I know that, you know, just having God in my life, God leads me, God directs me. Just like today, I wanted to wear a baseball cap and you know, just put on all my work. I called you and said, oh yeah, I'm wearing all my workout stuff.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and then the Holy Spirit had my spiritual confidant to call me and say, Carolyn, why are you going to do that? No one's going to see your face. They're not going to see anything. They're going to see this big hat, and they're going to go, what is Micheal and Carolyn talking about? What is she hiding behind the hat? So she told me, Carolyn, take the hat off. Just be you. Let people see. And once again, I'll never be ashamed of my age. People hide their age. I had a woman not too long ago. She said, I'm offended that you called me a super ager. And I'm going, I just paid you the biggest compliment on the planet. But it's called lack of knowledge. People perish. Lack of knowledge. So I embrace my where I am. Plus, by my father being a pastor, this is where it comes from. My daddy was a pastor. He left me all of his ministry. I mean, I didn't even know that he left all of his sermons, but my next book that's coming out in a couple of months, it's called Amazing Grace. God has given me so much grace until my skin is just like, you know, it's just on fire right now because, you know, I could be in a wheelchair, but I'm not. I could be dead, but I'm not. I could have let divorces, hurt my self-esteem, but I'm not. I thank God for my ex-husbands, and I'm not afraid to say it. In Amazing Grace, I talk about my ex-husbands, how beautiful I am. Oh, in that book, I talk about my ex-husband too. I divorced him, although I loved him. You know, sometimes you got to do what you have to do, and some things you just got to move on. So when I left, I could have went back to California, but God said, "Oh no, you stay here. This is fertile grounds for your work, for the mission that I have for you." And every award I've ever won has been here in Florida. Florida embraces me, and I love Florida. And I can say I'm a Floridian now.
Yes, you are a Floridian. I see it. I see it.
Yeah.
But you know, the thing that I think that is so important is in the book, and again, thank you, Sandy, for reminding me. It's called Transform Your Life Today, Transforming Your Life Through Self-Care, a guide to tapping into your deep beauty and inner worth. But there is a section in here, and it's chapter 15, and why giving back to others is essential. And I know that people will say to me from time to time, and my good friend Sandy Blazer, both of us, people will say, you guys are constantly doing, you've got so much on your plate. And what people don't know that I know about her and I know about myself, when I stop doing, it means that I'm dead.
Yes.
It will mean that I have died when I stop doing. Even as I age in place and whatever happens, I have to do for other people. It is essential to my day-to-day breath that I take. And it's my way, exactly what you're saying, of saying thank you to a divine Father that I believe in, that is the catalyst for the light in my life. You know, why you and I, here we are at the state capitol with hundreds and thousands of people, children visiting, people everywhere, and here we connect and have a meeting in the ladies' room. You know, and how you know, when I met you at the airport that day, I'm, you know, there early because I like getting to the airport early because I hate flying. And then I get to have this calm, wonderful conversation with you, breakfast even, and we get on our separate flights and we take off and go our separate ways. And so all of that to me is our faith and that spirituality that brings like minds together, that the reason why all of you who heard me last week, I am going to be writing my first book. And the only reason that I am doing that is because of this woman who said to me and has said to me over and over again, you have something to share. And life is a sacred journey. She played a role in that. She's played a role in everything that's had to do about me sharing my message with other people. So Carolyn, I have a lot to thank you for as well. So 2021, there will be a pondering. I don't know what the book is going to be called yet, but it will be my ponderings around my life and my transformation. And I will thank my dear sister Carolyn at that time. I'll go on her show and she'll interview me. But Carolyn, before we run out of time, it's 63 years old, and I'm at that same age. You know, we're not trying to jump up. Some of us don't have the capability to go to the gym and work out and become a muscle builder and do certain things. But there are, as you said, the rubber band. There are things that we can do to keep our core strength, because that back pain, I have now found through your work and my own research, has to do with core strength. Yes. So how do we maintain core strength along with our spiritual strength as we go along this sacred journey of becoming our most beautiful selves?
You know, Micheal, one bodybuilder told me to lay in bed and just lift your feet up while you're in bed. So if the person's in their bed, they could do that. And then just give yourself 5 minutes every day or 20 minutes just to have a talk with God. Dear God, can you help me? I ask God for help all the time, and I get it. Direct me, you know, and just, you gotta, in order to develop a relationship, you gotta study the word. So yeah, I gotta say, people need to just study. And I know there's different religions, I respect that. But on the same token, I'm just sharing what my journey's been.
Yeah. Whoop.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, you know, at the end of the day, Carolyn, what you're saying is, take a good look at yourself. Yes. Love yourself. Don't beat yourself up. The world will do a really good job at that, so you don't need to. But then set a goal, and not goals that are really ridiculous. Like my goals right now, I'm not trying to lose a tremendous amount of weight. It's really only 15 pounds. So I've got a goal of 1 pound a week. Yeah. I could, and I have lost more than that. But at the end of the day, I didn't set this major goal that if I failed, that it would hurt me and stop me from moving forward. So yeah, so little bits, baby steps, right?
Yeah, it's called loving yourself. You gotta love. Self-love is so important. Take care of that temple. That's all I have to say. This is the only beautiful temple we have, and we gotta take ownership. We have the authority of everything that goes in our body, everything that comes in our mind. We gotta take ownership of it. And that's the be courageous and do it. That's what I would share with folks.
And I think you are one of my most amazing friends, and I am fortunate to be in this world with you. And I thank you so much for coming on Life is a Sacred Journey this morning and sharing your story. Your love for your father is incredible. What you did and turned a situation that was a heartbreaking situation into a positive. All of it just shows all of us out here in this global community that we can do anything we want to do, and we can heal ourselves. We can heal each other by just being love. As I always say to Carolyn, when we end our conversations on the phone, I say, I love you, sis, and be well. And it's because I do. And loving someone is the most precious gift that we can give. So I want to thank all of you who joined us this morning for this very intimate fireside chat with my dear friend, Carolyn Grant, the author of Transforming Your Life Through Self-Care. You can get it on Amazon. I got it in a day. And I read it in like 3 days. So I just want to say, Carolyn, thank you. And may God continue to shine his love upon you and give you peace as you continue to be everything that you have been purposed to do. And we're going to have you back on Life is a Sacred Journey, because I think there's so much that you can share. And I always like hearing your voice. That's the other reason.
God bless you. You have a beautiful weekend. Bye, everyone.
So Carolyn Brent has been our guest today on Life is a Sacred Journey. Everybody know that the pandemic has not ended. Please take care of yourselves, maintain your social bubbles, love yourself by putting on a mask, love the world by putting on a mask. Let's be the change that we want to see in the world. And God bless you and be peace. Goodbye, my sister.
Bye-bye.
Be well.
Thank you. You too. Be well. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.